can't counter a cycle, right? He could petty theft it. He's giving us the good game. Oh my lord, you guys, how is that? Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. We are back with another free-to-play, zero rare, zero mythic, rotation-proof, free-to-play beginner deck for you guys. This is really special. This revolves around Titanoth Rex and 11/11 with Trample. We can cycle it for 2, and when we do so, a target creature we control will gain Trample. We are comboing this with Carrion Grub, a 0/5. Carrion Grub gets +X/+0, where X is the greatest power among creature cards in your graveyard. When it enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards. So we can put Trample through our Titanoth Rex on the Carrion Grub. That puts him in the graveyard, making Carrion Grub an 11/5 with Trample as early as turn 5. You can get there without Trample as early as turn 4 when he enters the battlefield, because obviously when he does enter, he mills 4 cards. So that's what the deck is based around. As always, we're going to take a look at the deck list in its entirety. What does each individual card stand for? What does it do? Then we're going to break down the card or the deck's strategy and synergies. How do all of those individual cards come together to form a coherent archetype? Then we're going to get into some gameplay footage and witness how this deck interacts with the other decks within the meta, breaking down any playlines and interactions that we come across. Finally, we have our final thoughts where we're talking about potential upgrades for this deck, because we are rocking, like I said, 0 rares and 0 mythics. So there is a lot of room for improvement. Not that it really needs it, because we are competing at a very high level again today. Really trying to bring you guys some of the best, strongest rotation-proof decks for beginners just getting into Magic the Gathering to take forward into their playthrough experience. So with that being said, if you find any value within the video, go ahead, give me a thumbs up and share this video out to one of your Magic the Gathering Arena friends. Okay, free-to-play Recursion. So Recursion signifies the fact that we're going to be playing things from our graveyard over and over again. They're a reoccurring card, right? Archfiend's Vessel is our first 1-drop. It's a 1/1 with lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard, or if you cast it from your graveyard, exile it. If you do, create a 5/5 black demon creature token. 4 copies of Cauldron Familiar. This is a 1/1 cat. When Cauldron Familiar enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. We can also sacrifice a food to return Cauldron Familiar from the graveyard to the battlefield, thereby re-triggering its ability. We have 4 copies of Witch's Oven, an artifact, meaning it can be tapped instantly. There's no summoning sickness. Sacrifice a creature, create a food token. If the sacrificed creature's power was 4 or greater, we're going to be creating 2 of those food tokens instead. Those are our 1-drops. Let's get on to our 2-drops. We've got 2 copies of Eliminate. This is an instant speed removal. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 3 or less. Heartless Act, very similar. However, choose 1. Destroy target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. That's a great way to destroy a indestructible Nissa land. Shh. We have 4 copies of Mire Triton. This is a 2/1 with Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, we will be milling 2 cards and gaining 2 life. 3 copies of Ram Through, an instant speed spell. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has Trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. So we're going to touch on this a little bit later. We only have a few 3-drops, 2 copies of Call of the Death Dweller, sorcery speed, so it's a little bit slower. Return up to 2 target creatures with total converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a Death Touch counter on either of them, and then put a Menace counter on either of them as well. So that's quite nice. On to our 4-drops. 4 copies of Carrion Grub. Now, we already touched on this. It's a 0/5. It gets +X/+0, where X is the greatest power among creatures in your graveyard. When it enters, we mill 4 cards. Deathless Knight. This is a 4/2 with haste. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, return Deathless Knight from your graveyard into your hand. We have 4/9 Titanoth Rex and 11/11 with Trample. Cycling for 2, and when we do cycle it, we can put Trample on target creature we control. These spells are accompanied by 14 swamps and 9 forests. No sideboard guide today. We're just playing best of 1, so we've trimmed a land. However, again, if you're looking to play this in traditional standard best of 3, just build your standard sideboard guide for it, make some more removal, and go from there, right? So that was the deck list. Let's begin to break down the deck's strategies and synergies now that we have an idea of everything that's included within it. First of all, I want to touch on Deathless Knight. So whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, return it to your hand from the graveyard. This is really, really powerful, especially with all of the passive life gain that we have through things like Cauldron Familiar, re-entering the battlefield. We have food that we could potentially eat as well. Archfiend's Vessel has life gain on it. And then Mire Triton also is going to gain us life when he enters the battlefield. So there's a lot of opportunities to gain life to rebring those Deathless Knights from our graveyard back into play. It has high synergy with the mill in the deck, right? If Mire Triton mills it, if Carrion Grub mills it, that is ideal because we're just going to play those from the graveyard a little later as well. So that is awesome. So huge synergy with Deathless Knight. Returning it to your hand is one thing, but it has haste. That means it can attack into blockers every turn. It only has 2 defense, so it's probably going to die, but no worries because he comes back and you can just keep hammering in. And the nice thing about your opponent's blockers that are dying is they're not going to be coming back, right? So you're going to be able to get some value and slowly squeeze out card advantage through the replaying of Deathless Knight with that 4 haste attack. So that's the first thing that I really wanted to touch on. Second was Ram Through. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If it has trample, the additional damage goes into the player. So we can tag this with things with Death Touch to remove anything, right? Ram Through on Mire Triton removes anything unless it has hexproof or indestructible, right? So that's a great way to deal with it. Other than that, when we do cycle our Titanoth Rex onto our Carrion Grub, now we can use Ram Through on our Carrion Grub with Trample, which will remove anything probably, as long as it has, well, no, it doesn't deal damage back, so it will remove anything. And then you are also going to deal excess damage to the opponent. So there's really high synergy once you have your 11/5 Carrion Grub to use Ram Through on it to remove your opponent's creature, deal extra damage, and then you can just, you know, smash in. He's got even less blockers now to defend the Grub. So there's huge synergy there through Ram Through. Early game through the Death Touch from Mire Triton, and then mid to late game through the big Carrion Grub that has trample on it, right? So that's that. We have Eliminate and Heartless Act just for single target removal. Try to save your Heartless Act for things like questing beasts that are 3 or greater, or 4 or greater actually I should say, and then prioritize your Eliminate on the smallers, 3 or less. That's that. You guys all know how to play with the Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven. Just cycle those all the time. Archfiend's Vessel is great. It gains us life, and then we can get it back into play later on with our Death Dwellers to make those 5/5. So it's a very easy deck to grasp. There's not a ton of different interactions within the deck. It's pretty basic, but what it does do, it does very, very well. There are things that shut down the deck, but again, that's why we're playing best of one. So people aren't going to be mainboarding things to shut down graveyard, exiling our graveyard, etc. So the deck's strong in best of one. We're competing in Mythic, getting very nice win streaks with it. Incredibly impressed with how it performs. Really looking forward to the release of Zendikar Rising to throw some new cards within this deck. Again, do make sure to watch to the end so you don't miss out on our upgrade, guys, because we take a good deck and we make it absolutely spectacular. So watch to the end to check that out. A big shout out to all of our supporters on Patreon, YouTube, and Twitch. Thank you guys so much. We are live on YouTube every day, 6 a.m. Mountain Standard. At 7 a.m. Mountain Standard, we go live on Twitch, and then we're in the Discord for the remainder of the day. So come say hello. Links for everything in the description below. I hope you guys enjoy this free-to-play, rotation-proof, 0 rares, 0 mythics, beginner, free-to-play friendly Golgari recursion deck. You know, take care, enjoy it. Let me know how you make out with it in the comments below. Turn 1 plus removal. Let's hope it's an aggro deck. Not too aggro. Preferably all 3 drops. Let's try to find our Call of the Death Dweller. More Archfiends. And then fold ourselves into our 4th land for the Deathless Knight. I guess looking for the Grub as well. Everybody just loves Simic. Blast Zone. Okay, okay, okay. We have removal at the ready. I'm envisioning an Uro this turn. Mire. Playing really slow. We missed the land drop again. Cry. Second vessel is now in the grave, so all the Death Roller is more viable. Four lands into a reclamation. Of course you do. Let's try at least. Flame Sweep destroys us. Don't you dare. The fact that I thought of Flame Sweep almost means it's gonna hit. No, okay. Petty Theft. Takes 3. Don't worry, he only gets to have 2 turns per one of our turns. He gets a full turn. Oh, he gets 3 turns now. Wilderness Reclamation. What a world to live in. At the beginning of your end step, untap all lands you control for 4. Totally fair and playable. I'm envisioning more petty thefts. Down to 5. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, let's risk it for the biscuit, baby. We have another Deathless Knight. Interesting. Shark Typhoon's a dead play, unless he wrecks on top of it, and then it's a pretty good play. I guess Borwer makes an additional flyer. We could ram through. I don't know if that helps a ton or not. Interesting. This is where it all goes wrong. Does he have lethal here that we're just unaware of? Right? I untap my land for 30 mana. Just running scenarios, you know, complex mathematic equations. He cycles a Typhoon to make the Shark, which we can immediately deal with? Question mark. The Brazen Borrower can't block flyers. He spends all his mana to try to get me to counter, and we just eat it out from underneath him on top of the stack. He gets the 3/3 though, which is annoying. And we take him down to 2. Now he wins the game. We have another eliminate for his next Shark. Wow. What is that last... Hopefully it's a land. If he plays something with that last card in his hand here to make another Shark, I don't think it's going to come through for us. No way. Don't you dare. Taps for 14 lands, can hit for 10, draw 10 cards. What a life. Not to mention making 2 10/10 Sharks. That's almost laughable, isn't it? I shouldn't say almost, it is. Oh no, they're 14/14 Sharks because the additional mana cost, not from X. Yeah, okay, bud. We're almost there though, right? Like, so we've got Death Touch. We can go like this. We're so close to getting him, it's not even funny. And then we eat this Shark here. Right? And then he has to block the 6/6 with the 2/2, and we get him down to 1. And then we play the cat to win. Get out of here, Reclamation deck. Of course, unless he gains either A, a million life, or B, just deals a million damage here. I'm really quite excited to see. If I didn't have it, I would have cycled the Typhoon. This is as close of a match as we're ever going to get. He's taking the scry. I think that means we have it. What a match. No, he still takes it. Just wants the second scry. I didn't pay attention to how he scryed the first time. 2 to the bottom here, though, so those must have been to the bottom, too. There's nothing to cast for 3s. As long as there's no counterspell here. He must have a counterspell. A simple your go. We can get around a dispute. Good game. We go first. I really like the Deathless Knight, and we do have a way to gain life and drop back, so we'll keep it. 3 lands is also fairly beneficial, I feel like. Let's toss our Vessel into a shock. Interesting. Okay, so having the Titanoth Rex in our graveyard is beneficial. Right? That's going to make our Carrion Grub an 11/5. Cat's also in play. Oven comes out first, always. Let's reveal our Golgari origins. A little bit of chip damage. Another 3. 4 for the turn. Defender's up. Teferi is a bummer. Who is he bounce? The Vessel, probably?
Thank me later.
Oh, the Oven.
I've got it.
Let's get our kitty in play. Here's the question. Are we playing directly into a Shatter with 2 planes? Risk it for the biscuit. Make sure we get as much damage as we can into the henhouse. Teferi's dead with 1 extra damage, then he blocks the Deathless Knight. 2 damage goes through. Teferi dies.
You just let me
Right, we also got rid of the wall, and then we just avoid a Shatter here. That's all we need to do. I shouldn't even be thinking about it. Let's think of like another Teferi. Something that's still good for him, but not as destructive. If I had a Shatter, I would have already played it. Right? That would have been like a snap cast. Which I almost do with everything, but... Especially with great plays like that. Really? I don't know, let's check this oven out. He needs to remove it before the oven hits, so like whatever he does needs to happen now. And like, that's totally fine. Right. Operation Petty Theft did not work. Watch this. We, fizzle his borrower, so it goes to the grave. Then we gain life with our vessel. And then the Deathless Knight comes back to our hand, which is where it would have ended up anyways. Oh! Loving it. I still don't think we're in the greatest position, but lethal next turn potentially. He should have waited until I declared my attackers to bounce it. Right, that would have got him out of a lot of trouble there. Okay, Teferi in play, 2 mana left.
You show remorse.
We have no interaction.
I'll protect
Bounces the oven. And then Fae for blocker. So we're gonna destroy this Fae, so he can get it back to his hand if he wanted. Oh, does he have to pay for that? He does, you have to pay 2 for that. Then we're in with our Deathless Knight, and that's lethal. Zero rares, 0 mythics, competing against some of the best cards within the game. It's not enough land. Going first is nice. This is good land of the wrong color. And we have finally our Carrion Rex combo. So let's drop our oven, question mark. Even though it's very good, I think ramp through might get us there. Right, we don't really have anything for the oven to interact with, so. Oh, and we pull a second ram through. Of course. We're gonna cycle this away. Into the graveyard. Closer to our land drop, which apparently we weren't gonna hit. There it is. Loving it. So. Seems like a lot of control going on here today. The ram through's nice with the death touch. 2 land off the top isn't ideal, really. We kind of want to pull our 4th land here. That's pretty cool. Right, he gets that counter all the time. Very interesting. Equipped for 1 too. Okay, no creature here.
Your name and rank are insignificant to fresh blood.
I'm okay with drawing 2 cards. You know, that's actually really good for us.
Suffer the dreams of the damned. Knowledge is not without pride.
We need this vessel out of our hand. Even though I'd love him to kill another one of our creatures, let us draw an additional 2 cards. I think we should just keep field presence under control as much as possible. Ouch.
Foxes. You're not scared of dogs, are you?
only we had one more land. This would be a lot nicer. Wow. Let's try to make him use his minus. This is bad. Well, he definitely removes it. Just not in the particular way that we were looking for.
My companions.
This is some interesting jank, and one of the pleasures of playing so low here. Guess it doesn't matter because they both get sacked. The two flyers get above this Piper, which is quite nice. And then I think we just pick her up with our eliminate. Garrick can't minus. He still has to pay for Yorion into his hand. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could still put him out.
You cannot run or hide.
Yeah, okay. Not good. So Garrick gets bounced, set back to 5.
I'm gonna go hunt.
He'll still die, but
Leave me be and you'll escape with your life. Maybe.
yikes. Oh, nice play. I like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The curse is affecting me more than I thought.
It doesn't really go the way I wanted it, but at a certain point. Can we also acknowledge the fact that this guy has 10,000 cards in his deck and has pulled literally everything that you'd want? Wow. How do you top deck those kind of cards in such a thick deck? Wow. A Garrick Planeswalker and a Chandra? I can't even pull these cards when I run 4 copies of them in a 60 card deck. That's incredible. Holy. Replaying our knight. Killing Chandra. Think he top decks an Ugin Spirit Dragon next?
You're gonna be sorry when I come back.
May as well, he's got the land for it. Woof. What a life to live. Welcome to 2020. Cry. His emblem gives him trample. That's game. I think we're gonna mulligan this. The land doesn't look very good. This is better. Let's throw our ram through away. Let's cat it up. Eliminate hits the priest. He does have a lot of life gain. Aerialist. Okay, so we'll use our eliminate there. Mitigate the damage here. Scry goes to the bottom, that's always nice. Holding up our eliminate for the aerialist. Chump blocking the burglar. Could interact with it. Let's force his removal onto the grub. He has to now take a more defensive position. Vampire now needs to defend. He could also remove this though, right? We mill 4, looking to mill a Titanoth Rex. Yes, there he is. We also mill a vessel if we can find a Call of the Death Dweller. So that easily on turn 4, we're able to make an 11-5. That gets murdered. So we get the 2 food for the cat, which is nice. Let's just take some damage. We should have jump locked, I guess. This taps in though for our Deathless Knight, so we can outpush him hopefully. And the vessel's good. I think we might just leave it. So it's gonna die. So we take out his Death Touch. And then we sack it. Right, just more food. It fizzles. Yeah. That didn't fizzle. No, let's just go chump block mode. Oven is tapped, but we have plenty of food for the cat to come back with. Our opponent's down to 2 cards, and we have a reoccurring Deathless Knight. Looking to pull a few more. We know he's got recursion for this vessel. Another vampire. Let's get this Deathless Knight, just going kamikaze here. It comes back to our hand basically every turn. He takes it. Thank you kindly. Right, we're just in basically a locked out tug of war here. Really? That whiffs again because we kill it, so there's no target. Cat can trade with the vampire freely. As a land, he didn't have Call the Death Dweller, and we've been playing around it. Oh my lord. What a life. He's really relying on top decking it now. It's another land, that's awesome. Activating our cat here. Vessel comes in play, we can cycle the Rex. Going first, 3 lands. Call the Death Dweller. Alright, alright, alright. Let's open up with our Footy Tooty Tat. Grazer. Look at that guy's fingers. He'd give you a tickling, eh? Gruel. Interesting. Why is Gruel using the Grazer? Strictly for a turn 2 Spellbreaker? Weird flex, but okay. Land is brutal. Well, maybe our Grub mills our Rex and we have an 11-5 that can just take his punishment. Our opponent's playing illegal cards. Gruel Spellbreaker. Post rotation. What's up? Okay, milling a Rex here for a nice blocker. Huh, wow. That's unlikely. No attacks. We can pull absolutely nothing back with our Death Dweller. This is a weird draw hand. Our opponent's just ramping into these giants. We're gonna need some Death Touch for them. Okay, so I could kind of get behind this a little bit. Trades with the breaker. Now our Grub becomes a 4-5, right? A little bit more acceptable. And we can use our ramp through now. Oof, not quite on this giant. Watch this. So we cycle it. Oh, wrong way. We put the trample on our grub. It becomes an 11-5 with trample. And we're sitting pretty here. Nothing to pull back with our Death Dweller. But, because now we have trample, these ram throughs become incredibly oppressive. Just dealing 4 damage, and now we're in for an incredible amount here. Oh lord, the Carrion Grub representing. Absolutely incredible. All through 2 uncommon cards. The Titanoth Rex and the Carrion Grub. Available with trample as early as turn 5, without as early as turn 4. That's pretty broken material. We have another ram through in our hand as well. Woof. Our opponent could be uninstalling Magic the Gathering and installing Runeterra. He has the decency to exit the game or concede at least. Opponent goes first, 3 land, Death Dweller, Grub, Knight. It's a little heavy, but potentially we draw some early match stuff to win with. Alrighty, let's get in there. We pull a Mire Triton, that's a little bit early game interaction. And now, again, I remind you that there's only so much that we can do with a free-to-play slash beginner deck. 0 rares, 0 mythics, only using post-rotation cards. So we have half of the available card pool only. So really, we've put as big of a game advantage handicap on ourselves as we possibly could. So we got the Rex in the graveyard. That's nice. That's really going to help our grubs out. I will absolutely trade with it. Oh, nice. Okay. Weird flex, but okay. I'm going to take it just because. 2 life against a mono red deck. Milling the Oven does not feel good, but it is what it is. We're looking for our 4th land. GG. Okay. Let's pull a land off the top. Vessel could be good with the second call of the Death Dweller. Right? 5/5 should shut down a red deck pretty efficiently. Absolutely. We take our Vessel and our Triton. Gonna gain a little bit of life here. We're gonna put Death Touch on the Vessel, even though it gets sacrificed. Just the Triton already has it, so good practices. It'd be cool if the Death Touch came back to the Demon. So 5/5 should shut down mono red pretty well. We can pull another land and activate these Carrion Grubs. We do have a Rex in the graveyard. Down to 17. This Annex sucks. Let's throw up the wall. 2 cats, that's not the worst. Do we aggress or do we offend against the Embercleave? Let's defend against Embercleave. The banner! We need to put trample on this grub. I think we got this. Oh, no, he drops... No, he's got to put it in his hand still. Okay, good. Gets his 2 tokens here. Carrion Grub representing such a powerhouse. As long as we can pull a forest, this is going to be quite nice, I think. Turn 1 cat. Totally fair and playable move. We get that land that we wanted, and we're holding up our eliminate. We've got an Abzan Triome in play. Could get weird. Whoa. 4 colors. We got 4 colors here. This is like an Ink Trader deck or something? I don't even know. Godzilla! Not quite. We sent him to the grave. More like Carrion Grub. Is this just like a maggot or something it looks like? Definitely. Grody. Cultivate is aggressive, you know what I mean? So he's gonna need something to deal with our grub. Almost immediately, whether that's a shatter. Look at the size of this deck! Wowzers. Hopefully we can avoid removal here. We mill a cat. Takes us to a 1/5. Not so threatening, right? You wouldn't really declare this an immediate threat if you've seen it. Hopefully it survives. Yeah, it will. Nice. He just takes the land. Leaves him at 2. I don't think we've got too much to worry about here, though. Can't counter a cycle, right? He could petty theft it. He's giving us the good game. Oh my lord, you guys. How is that for a turn 4 win? 0 rares, 0 mythics, rotation proof, Throne of Eldraine forward, only half the card pool. Carrion Grub is a bomb. Wow, what do you guys think? Carrion Grub is aggressive. If you can get lucky enough and pull the lotto ticket to get him out turn 4, put trample turn 5, GG without removal, right? Again, you could potentially maybe heroic intervention to protect it, but I'm not too worried about that. It's a free-to-play aggro deck, so that's a rare card. We could incorporate that into our upgrades. However, I do have some other ideas for you guys. Not really revolving around protection. This is a more aggro style deck, so Scavenging Ooze is just busted in the meta. This is going to be busted forever, so if you have it, put it in. If you don't have it, you know, you're going to have it eventually anyways, because it's not going anywhere. The Bane of Monsters. Now, this is really nice, and we have plenty of removal through Ram, through Heartless Act, Eliminate, even the Death Touch of Mire Triton, right? So I think Chevelle is cool for a draw engine, plus it has Death Touch, so he himself is removal. It's low cost, so Call of the Death Dweller can bring it back with a Vessel. There's a lot of really cool synergies with Chevelle. The Standard Bearer, again, there's just so many cool cards that we could potentially add to the deck. This is another protection from Shatter, replenish your hand type scenario. Extinction Event, a lot of our permanents are even, right? We've got 4 drops and 2 drops, a few 1 drops. But again, when the Vessels come back, those will be even as 0 as well. So it's just the cats, which we can kind of take off the field at will. So Extinction Event is kind of nice. We can exile odds pretty consistently without hindering ourselves. That's an idea we have. Rankle Messer Pranks, obviously. Haste, Flying. We can trigger sacrifice effects, discard draw. Just an amazing card within black, similar to Questing Beast within green. Castle Lockflame, rare land is always great. This is going to help improve the draw. Temple of Malady helps improve the consistency of pulling both colors. And then the same thing goes with Fable of Passage, right? So just some quick upgrades that you could work into the deck. I think we could probably fine-tune this and make a pretty aggressive standard deck to climb rank with. However, as far as free-to-play, beginner-friendly, 0 rares, 0 mythics, rotation-proof goes, this is almost as good as we're ever going to get. I think it's very powerful on 11-5 with Trample out of the gate like that. Stop it. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for supporting the channel with your time and attention. I really appreciate it. Everybody on Twitch, Patreon, on YouTube who's joining our membership programs, You guys are so sick. We're gonna maybe do some special events for you guys coming up. So a big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share to a friend, and hit that bell icon so you're notified of all of our future shenanigans. Thanks so much, you guys. Take care. Go have a great day. Peace.